Okay, so I guess you guys are leaving Yarmouth from last week and heading off to Bryn Shander. So, Dave, do you want to give me a handling roll? Your used ground vehicles.
Anybody going to help in guidances?
I'll help.
Bracey?
Yeah, hang on, mate.
And we're on +2. So today we're setting out. Oh, and it's nice. Rays of hope, bright and not overcast one bit as you head out. Dave, you get to move. There are no encounters and the weather is good, so you get to move a full 16 miles across the map towards Bryn Shander. Yeah, right there, Dave. Aha.
Yeah.
And then spend the night camping out. Are you using your usual tiny hut? And are you using?
Oh yes.
Are you using the summoned food as well?
Yes, using the hut.
Oh, it's dense fog as well the next morning. So you wake up. It's a bit of a pea souper.
I'll sit in the back of the sled and make a noise like a foghorn.
Nah, just
Yeah. Or I could just keep playing one note on the bagpipes.
that would do it. So the second day you arrive back at Bryn Shander, and as you approach the main gates, the guard on the gates looks kind of not afraid, maybe a little worried, and he says the old man's dying to see you. Said next time you're passing through, can you go down and see him urgently at the jail?
Oh, yeah, we'll go.
Let's get down there then.
Yep.
Right, so you head down to the jail, and the usual guards are outside that salute you as you come in and show you into the old man's office. And he smiles, rubs his unshaven chin, and he says, "I'm pleased you've come. I've got a bit of a dilemma, I must admit."
And what is your dilemma?
He says, "Well, this bloody goblin, he's walked up to the town gate, dropped his weapons on the floor, and handed himself in. Apparently wants to talk to you lot. Yardstick sent him or something."
Yard knock.
Yardstick, love it.
Aye, that fella. But he'll not talk to us, and he's just thrown down his weapons. We've got him in a cell, and we fed him, and he seems quite happy living in a cell, to be fair.
It's warmer than where he's come from, and you're giving him food. He'll probably live his whole life out there, given half the chance. We'll best go see him, though.
Right, this way, he grabs a guard, and you head down to the cells. In the cells, there is a small goblin, small by your standards, but, of adult size, just finishing off his bowl of porridge, and he beams his small, sharp, pointed teeth smile at you as you approach.
All right, Ian, what's up?
He smiles, licks his lips, and he says, in his broken common, me vant food, me vant warm, and then he looks you in the eye with his big watery goblin eyes, and he says, "Me vant job."
What job are you looking for?
He looks a little confused as though he's been doing night classes in common. The old man says, "Well, bugger me.
Need a new guard?
Did that goblin just ask for a job?" I kind of tried to do a Sean Bain voice for the old man, but it doesn't work.
He'd probably make a brilliant town guard.
The goblin as a town guard?
A town guard is a great place to start bringing new races into public contact.
Whilst you're discussing the bits and bobs of it, I'll cast comprehensive languages as a ritual, because I know it'll take about 10 minutes. But
every time you say that, mind, you literally run around with the bits of chalk drawing on the floor and scattering incense about and flicking perfume and things like that, mind. That's why it takes 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Everybody looks at you strangely.
Because by the time they've finished the particulars, I need to make sure that the goblin knows exactly what's what, that there's no confusion. So whilst you are sort of scratching out the particulars of what can and can't be done, I'll do this, and then I'll be able to relay things, without any confusion to the goblin.
Yeah. So he says, "Well, I guess so. It would be a hard push to get him accepted into the town anywhere else, to be fair."
And if you think about it, you'll get to know goblins better by knowing one personally rather than at the end of a sword. And that could be useful in dealing with them in the future.
Goblins turn up asking for jobs, and he looks at you lot up and down. He went, "I can't help but feel that you lot have got something to do with this.
Us? Never.
I think you'll find we might have.
Would that
that'll
be a
right.
problem?
No, he says, as long as he's honest and works hard.
You probably need to instill human values into him because it's going to be a bit difficult. But we're going to give him a primer on what he shouldn't do, like eat people and stuff.
One of all the things to happen in Icewind Dale, all of the horrors they never thought would end up with goblins in the watch.
You've
Could
got
be
to look
worse,
at
could
the
be
positive.
werewolves.
You've got to look at the positive of this. The outside goblins are bound to fall in line a little bit easier, and you're bound to have less bother from them if there's one of their own in the watch.
Well, I guess so. I've got no reason to distrust your opinion on this.
It's all right. I'll have a chat with him. He'll be fine.
Okay, then.
I will. Tracy's cast that spell.
Okay, just you cast comprehend languages. Doesn't let you speak it, sadly. But I do not believe Goblin is one of the languages that anybody speaks.
No, but we definitely understand what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So basically, explain to him that he's going to be a town guard. He'll get paid. He'll have a warm place to live and given food. He has to do what the other guards tell him, and that bloke there is the big boss, his chief now.
He nods enthusiastically. This takes several minutes of hand-waving, drawing gestures with bits of Tracy's ritual chalk, and you eventually get through to him that this is indeed the case. He nods enthusiastically, and Tracy, you understand perfect Goblin. He says that he's friends with one of the guards who came with Yarbnock, and they were telling everybody how there's so much food and it's warm, and they were allowed in pubs, and that you lot had treated him well. And he wanted to be more than a goblin living in a little hut.
Sanwin, can you remember what that female goblin shaman type person was called?
I can't.
Neither can I, but is it worth trying to establish with said goblin friend in front of us here that he is not being sent by her to gather intelligence and otherwise make mischief?
He is named Fiolx, Fiolx.
He's now called Felix.
He's now called Felix, is he?
Felix the Goblin.
Okay, Felix the Goblin it is. So how do you wish to establish this, Earl? Do you want to just...
Because all I'm thinking is that the sort of overt takeover didn't quite work when we came through on Yarbnock's side. So I wouldn't put it past her to be a shifty little blighter and to try and undermine him by undermining us a different way.
Man,
That's all I was
agree with
thinking.
you, but that's a bit up there for goblin thinking.
Right. What I'm going to do is, with the use of my illusion, natural illusion talents, I'm going to convey to this goblin, more or less, that if he doesn't do as he's fucking told, right, I'll come back and I'll blow him away just so there's a little pair of shoes left. And I'll do this all in demonstration of, like, imagery showing his little shoes left if he steps out the line.
Oh, okay, wow. Quite the a camera obscura show there Tracy puts on. Okay, give me an intimidation check. And because I'm going to give you advantage for that because...
it's the whole C3PO R2D2, like, extravaganza, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you that. He looks terrified and grasps his little bottom lip and then nods his head enthusiastically.
I pat him on the shoulder and give him a nod and knowing smile, just so he knows. I don't think we've got anything to fear, lads.
I don't know. I was quite frightened by that display.
Markwell says, well, I don't know if we've got a uniform to fit him. He's kind of like gnome-sized, but he's got long, gangly arms, so he might have short sleeves for a while.
I should shake Felix by the hand or claw or whatever they have.
Welcome to the civilized world, O Goblin.
Yeah, I'll pat him on the head. Well done, old chap.
And with that, the old man offers you a swift drink in his office, and he's like, well, that's bloody everything. I've seen it now.
Can you tell the council got that horn they wanted?
Excellent. Are you going to try it on the pass?
We're going to go and sort something out first. I figure if we try it on the pass, it'll just freeze over again.
Aye, seems sensible. Right then, well, in comes Felix in his little oversized guard uniform. His helmet's too big and it's hanging down over his eyes, and he keeps shoving it back up.
Oh, bless him.
And his jacket's too short because of his long gangly arms, so they only come to mid-forearm. But he throws the sloppiest salute you've ever seen and beams a big smile at you as you depart. And the last thing you hear, I'm going, well, bloody hell. Look at the state of that.
You can't use mend to do clothing alterations, can you?
You cannot, sadly. He will have his uniform altered. He just doesn't have one currently.
Just checking.
So, then heading off to Howell's to bring your scrap metal. Yes, showing up at the shop. It's as grubby and grotty as ever. Howell behind the counter, beavering away, doing as little as possible, smoking a large pipe. Oh, come in.
Blimey, Howell, you're looking almost busy there, mate.
Well, got to keep the nose to the grindstone, don't we?
I've got a few bits and pieces you might be interested in. I say rummaging in my pack.
Ooh, bits and pieces, odds and ends. That's just what I like.
Frost Giant heart any good to you?
Oh, bloody hell. Do you know what you can do with that? You can make a potion of Frost Giant strength.
Aye, so I heard.
Expensive as all buggery, though. I don't have the parts in, and the price of the parts has gone through the bloody roof. It's looking a bit limp.
Got back as fast as I could. I was going to offer you a deal, and, if you could manage to physic up a portion out of this, whatever you can sell it for, keep off.
Well, that would be, yes, certainly I can start it off, but I don't have the capital, I'm afraid, to perform the full brewing process.
Well, I'll have to say if I can do something about that, but if you start it off...
Yes, I'll get the big pot.
Hang on, what else have I got?
What else have you got? You've got all sorts of crap, haven't you?
Oh, yes. While I'm on...
You've got the vial of Frost Giant blood that needs to be either brewed or alchemized.
Yes, yes.
Before it goes off.
I also have giant toes. What do you do with giant toes, Howell?
Well, to be honest, best thing we can do is you can kebab them if you're hungry enough. Otherwise, they're shall we say a multi-use, non-guaranteed cure-all for what ails you, from anything from baldness to not having enough charges in your wand.
Right. Well,
you put them in a glass of whiskey and you play Kiss the Toe.
Good thinking. Thinking.
You can get two gold pieces from them. Well, the selling price is 4, but you can sell them on for 2 if you can find a customer to buy one.
Well, I'll plonk the toes on the desk. And I also have this vial of Frost Giant blood. Can you do out with that?
Oh, he says, yeah, boil it down with some turmeric and a lovely little bit of olive oil to make a portion, or you can bake it into cookies. Get you right off your head on cookies.
Right. Well, do you think you might be able to do the baking or the brewing or whatever?
He says, I can certainly have a go. I will just check my doobly-doo. That'll be
plonk that on the table as well.
El Librim.
Anything else I can get rid of while I'm at it?
Yeah. What am I looking for? Frost Giant blood. Vial of Frost Giant blood.
I've got 2 jars of Ice Troll blood here as well.
Ice Troll blood as well. Indeed, it is. You can turn them into minor portions of regeneration. So,
would that regenerate my hand?
No, it just seals your wounds.
And presumably, Howell, can I just check? You know this business about a giant's eyes. You don't have to do anything with a giant's eye other than actually consume it, do you?
I'm not sure what you mean. You're supposed to brew them, cook them, or alchemize them.
Oh, I'll drop them in the curry and say what happens.
Jesus Christ. Everything goes in that curry.
Lovely.
So what I was thinking, Howell, was if between us we can scrape together the wherewithal to turn these various items of giant and troll into various products and sell them on, as you quite rightly said, to some sort of customer, then maybe we could half the profit.
Indeed.
Obviously, the more you sell them for,
I will certainly do that.
Right. If Howell can give me a list of sort of either the reagents that he needs or give us an idea of how much they're going to cost.
Yeah, for the potion of frost giant strength, it's 1,000 gold pieces, and it takes 30 days of brewing or alchemizing, as he has to boil it down.
Lovely.
But the eyes and the blood, he needs to make a DC 18 roll. He's got +4, so I can roll that for you now if you want.
Well, can I help him at all?
Can I guidance him?
Yes, you can guidance him, and he'll set them away boiling. So D20, so that's a 10 plus a 4, a D4. Oh, it's a 3, so he fails on the eyes. Burns it a bit. Oh, bugger, it's a little more difficult than it looks to do this. And then when he tries the blood.
Well, if we're going to bake that into cookies, being a hobbit, I should know a bit about cooking, so I'll help him.
Right, it's okay. I'll give him advantage. And a 15. So with the guidance, he needs a 3 or more. 3 or 4. No! Almost there. But he says, shite, I've put too much sugar in.
Do you think
So
your average customer will notice?
Maybe. It's frost giants are very difficult to work with. They're extremely magical.
But you're supposed to be good at this shit.
I'm the best alchemist in this entire street, I'll have you know.
You mean you're the only bloody alchemist in Bryn Shander, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure the frost giant heart will go much better, and he looks kind of worried as he looks over at it simmering away on a Bunsen burner above his big pot.
Well, all I can say is, glancing at Aisha, it did better.
Yeah, so that did not go so well. Not so easy to do that. Doesn't Dave have brewing?
Yeah, I've got +4.
So you know worse off.
Kept that quiet.
So you could make frost giant blood beer.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a plan.
Right, Dave, get this eye in your pot. So,
That beer's looking at you.
upon Howell buggering that up, if it was so easy, everybody would be making frost giant strength potions. Is there anything else you happen to want to do in Bryn Shander? Having now got a goblin a job and burnt several cookies?
I'm going to send Howell a message, and I'm going, I've got a surprise for you. Come outside.
Oh, lovely. He pokes his head gingerly outside the shop in case there's anything explosive.
And he sees Lantish marching around in circles with the arcane golem following around, big footprints behind. I did say I was going to come back and tell him if
Yeah.
he found anything else.
Bloody hell, you found it. Oh, Crunt. It's magnificent.
You did say you wanted to write a book about stuff.
It's
so.
bloody lovely. Look at that. God, the things I could do with that. I'd run this bloody town.
Well, when I've got time after, the few things we've got to take care of, I'll come back and let you have an examine it a bit closer, and because I know you wanted to write up a few papers about it, and I'm sure it'll be a find for you. It'll impress the alchemist skill no end and whatnot.
Excellent.
I'd rather give a friend, the chance to write the paper up as than some foreigner.
His eyes glitter greedily underneath his enormous eyebrows. That's wonderful. It looks like it's got some kind of derivative of Elvish. No, Draconic written on it?
Yeah, it's mostly Draconic and Elvish. It's very complicated. I think whoever wrote it was probably the stem language for both of those, or influenced by them. It was built by the Netherese, by the look of it. Got in their books lying about somewhere.
Oh, gold. They're bad news, them.
I've been trying to tell that to everyone, but they seem to think I'm overreacting.
Oh, I don't think you can overreact when it comes to them. Crazy buggers, them. And that's coming from me.
Yeah, they were a little odd.
Right, I better get on with boiling this heart. It's,
Good luck.
Boiling this out carefully.
Carefully. Would you like a cookie? I've burned the buggers on the end, unfortunately.
I'll try one. I'm not proud.
It's, an interesting taste, but sadly has not managed to perform any of its magical properties.
So, where are we going today?
Sky Tower, wasn't it?
Are we going up to see Bracey's people? or are we going up to go to prison?
I'm not fussed either.
Someone's got to have a preference for one or the other. If not, I'll just randomly choose.
No, I think we should go and see Asia's people.
Right, good plan. Let's go and see Asia's people and see what the hell's causing this new civil war they've got into.
Very well. Dave, you're driving, so you've got, Bristol's people live at Sky Tower, which is apparently on the top of a mountain, as they breed and fly griffins. The other Goliath that you rescued is at Wormdoon Crag, who said he would make sure that you were welcomed with open arms, even though the Goliaths have become insular. Either way, Dave, you're better off heading down the road, because you can do 5 miles an hour. So you've done an hour, just spent now about an hour travelling there, so you've got 6 hours of travel left. You got rest the dogs for 3 of those. So you've got 3 hours of travel, plus your roll for the day. Going to give me a vehicle handling roll, see how you do.
Somebody help us and guidance, please.
I can give you a hand.
Is Valiant still with her or not?
Oh yeah, Valiant's with you. 25, you get an extra travel, so you've got a whole bunch of time. Which way are you going? Through East Haven, along the road?
Yeah.
Because you can make that in 2.5 hours, approximately. And then from East Haven, which is still being rebuilt, they're still burying the bodies and picking up the pieces of the town. That is on you. Do some travelling.
Right. Is that a pass below Berserker's Cave and Sky Tower?
Yes, you can cross the frozen stream and head along the pass.
How many miles have I got left then, Rich?
You have got 4 miles, unless you wanted to push the dogs.
Why am I humming the Smokey and the Bandit theme?
West County down. So, yeah. Are you going to just continue to use the tiny hut and the summoned food unless further notice?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so you have a pleasant night in the warm and nothing disturbs your rest. So Dave, do a roll while you're doing that. You travel across the frozen river and through the mountain pass towards Sky Tower, the giant mountains of the spine of the world, hundreds of feet either side of you, and setting up camp for the night. Clear skies the next morning, and then you can travel another 15 miles. That probably get you close enough to Sky Tower, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. So it is the 19th when you arrive at the base of the mountains. Basically, you haven't been here for several years. You filled the rest of the party in as you travel there. It's a cave complex carved into the northwest face of a 15,000 foot high mountain.
Good to see it's still a shithole.
It is indeed delicious.
We're not any crap for coming back with you here, are we? You're not like, a wanted criminal, major outcast, anything like that?
No,
Not yet.
not really.
Yeah, I don't believe you've really shared your experiences with you.
He's a mystery, an enigma wrapped in a something made out of...
Wrapped in a
Robbie
bar of
Foley.
chocolate.
Yeah,
Wrapped in a sandwich eaten by Andy.
Yeah, which could be anything. Let's face it. If Andy's eating it, it could literally be anything.
Well, luckily, as Sky Tower is an actual village, I guess you would describe it as, up at the top of a mountain, we're just going to need a party athletics roll, and it's quite easy to get up there.
Ho, 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 look at that. Oh.
Because they actually have a path laid up the side of the mountain. Are you going to park the sled at the bottom and leave it there? Because you can't really drive it up there. There's
Guess we'll
a
have to.
narrow path you can yomp it up, but generally, basically, you people would either yomp up the path or fly on a griffin, so there's not really a place to get the sled up.
Oh, we'll leave enough food for Bob to feed them for a couple of days just in case, and then we'll just yomp it.
Okay. Bob's like, yeah, I'll continue to read my book and I will defend the sled. Thank you for this opportunity to allow myself for some time for self-improvement.
Him and Valiant must be getting on like a house on fire.
Oh,
like
yeah, she's absolutely fascinated. But when somebody's too fascinated with somebody else and it's starting to get a bit uncomfortable. Well, Bob's starting to look a little uncomfortable with Valiant. Are you leaving her at the bottom, or is she yomping up with you?
Oh, we'll take her with us. You never know when you need someone.
You never know when you need an extra caster.
Does Bob breathe a sigh of relief? Only if he breathed.
So you get up the mountain without further ado. However, it does take 2 days of yomping.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, it's 15,000 feet up the mountain, Prissy. Well,
Okay, guess we'll
it's
need
not
more than a
completely the
couple of
top.
days' food.
It's about 12,000 feet. By the time you get there, you're all short of breath, apart from Brissy, who's acclimatized to it. And you come to the top. Above you, you see 6 large griffins circling, and there's a narrow causeway that's deliberately been put there to impede progress. And as you yomp across, you see there is a barricade at the other end. Tracy, I've kind of figured out the commands you can give Ed, which are you can set the distance he follows you between 5 and 60 feet. You can tell him to wait for you, in which case he'll just if you want to tell him to wait for you in Bryn Shander, he'll wait there. You can tell him to come to you, in which case he will immediately make a line straight for you. Or you can tell him to attack a creature.
I'll tell him to wait with Bob by the sled, because I think they're going tough up this thing. Does it look pretty tough to try and get something his size up?
Okay, yeah. So he stands in the sled. Bob tries to break a conversation with him. He's like, I've been reading these books on free will, and I've developed some quite interesting theorems upon it. Ed just stares impassively straight ahead and doesn't move. It's just his little LED lights blinking on and off now and again.
Oh.
Let's not teach the giant killer thing about free will, Bob.
But it's fascinating. I know I willingly submitted to the family curse. Well, not really a curse. The family
Obligation.
Obligation. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But this free will thing, it's quite fascinating, I have to admit.
I've never not had it, so you don't, you kind of take it for granted when you've got it. But you must remember not having it.
Kind of. My memory's hazy. It has been several thousand years.
I suppose so.
So
They do say the older you get, the more hazy your memory gets.
It's true, honestly. And the dangly balls. Wow, I've got old man balls to the max.
Oh my God.
Tell me about it.
Too much information.
Gotta be careful how you sit down.
Too dangly, they get frostbite.
Right, so you finally reach the stone causeway which crosses, and you can see, hopefully you can see on the map, how above the clouds, griffins circle and shriek above you. And before you lies a familiar wooden and bone barrier, Bracey, blocking the entrance. At the 10-foot tall barricade made of wood and stone, set with crude gate made of thick lumber and festooned with metal blades. Gaps in the gate allow you to see an unusually tall figure in hide armor standing 10 feet behind it, clutching a great axe. Beyond this figure is a higher ledge with 5 equally towering figures standing atop it. And it is down to you.
I will shout whatever traditional greeting we normally shout and get his attention.
Oi, tossers! A voice cries out. You recognise it as a warrior called Arn Rockfist. And he shouts, "Is that Markless? Come back after all these years?"
I see you're just as thick as the day I left. Of course it is. Open the gates.
And he shouts, "I am chieftain now. You would do well to speak to me with some respect." He says, "The gates are locked, for we no longer allow outsiders."
I'm going to make Asia glow all the way around with illusionary bright golden light.
And in this bright golden light, you can see that your marks have not faded, so you actually still have those bright, icy blue marks. There's a gasp from behind the fence and says, "'Tis some kind of sorcery."
He's all powerful now.
We need to speak to speak. Open the gates, please.
He says, "No, the gates are sealed to you. Not unless you prove yourself once more."
How big would Asia be if somebody cast an enlarge on him?
Ginormous. Why are you going to cast enlarge on him?
Not me.
And then from behind the barrier, Brissy, you hear a frail old woman's voice. It says, "Arn, who's that? Who's that? It sounds like little Asia."
Do I recognise the voice?
You do. It's Arn's mother, Kanika, and she was always a nice old lady. She was always nice to you and always nice to the kids. He says, "Yes, but the gates are closed, mother." He says, "Let me lead you back to your bed. You will fall if you travel like this without your sight."
I say, Kaniga, it is Aisha.
She says,
It
"Oh,
is nice to hear your voice and that you are still alive.
little Aisha, I haven't seen you in such a long time."
It would be nice to greet you, but unfortunately, The gates are closed.
She says, alas, I'll not be able to lay eyes upon you no more. One of the night walkers, it shone its rays in my eyes, and I am blind. Answers, calm yourself, mother. And he shouts to one of his warriors, you take her back to bed. And she says, no one, it's little Aisha, he's come home to us.
I'll turn around to Ace and say, do you mind?
If you want, although they probably won't talk to you.
What's the gaffer one called? Arn.
On you.
I'll shout up in common, hey Arn, what's he got to do to prove himself?
He thinks for a moment, and then he points over the barrier to a neighbouring mountain to the northeast. Bring me the white cloak of Oglai, chieftain of Wormdom Crag, our sworn enemies.
They're your sworn enemies over a game.
It's not just a game, and he slams his foot down.
Game, you petulant child.
He says, many
Right.
summers ago, the children of Sky Tower challenged the children of Wormdom to a game of football. One of the children, angered by being knocked off her perch, threw the ball at one of our griffins and struck it in the head. It wounded her in return, and the game was called off. This was not a game, it was a deliberate attack upon our griffins.
Is your honour and pride more valuable than the return of one of the sons of this citadel? Have you not seen, from inside your locked doors, have you not seen what's been happening in 10 towns? The cold killing the poor innocent people there, and you lot hide away inside because of a gripe with the people of Wormdom Crag?
You will not be unaffected by what is going on. It will eventually claim you as well.
Very well. I'll allow you to come in and speak, but there is no way that the clans of the Goliaths will ever be at anything other than complete war. And then you hear the voice of Kanika again, and she says, yes, let him in. He's been gone for so long. And the barrier opens and is slipped aside,
I'll turn
revealing
round.
the old steps to come up. And as you can see now, Kanika's an old white-haired woman, but around where her eyes are, they're milky white, but like there's like shot with black, almost as if she'd had mascara and it's ran. And she holds onto Arm's hand, onto his arm.
Almost as if her pupils were liquefied and leaked out.
That's a bit over the top there, Dave. For no reason. You may come in, he says.
I'll walk straight past the chieftain without even looking at him, and I'll go to the old woman and go down like on one knee and take a hand and greet her.
Right, she does that thing where she folds up your arm and then puts her hands right the sides of your face, and she says, "Oh, Aisha, it is you. It's been so long since you've been here. The other children, they're all grown."
I have been out finding my way in the world, making friends and having adventures.
Is a reflection a curse by chance?
No, one of the night walkers of Oral, it shone its eyes, and it was the last thing I
cold
saw.
light thing.
Yes.
Will the spell that removed your friend not aid her, Mr. Toscobble? We've got an old woman here who's blind, and I think you might be able to cure her the same way as you got rid of your stowaway.
Oh, right. Hang on. So possibly if I was to, where is it? What you mean if I was possibly to cast lesser restoration on her?
Well, that might work. I'm not sure, but I think it does cure conditions, and blindness is a
It does
condition.
cure blindness.
Well, I can certainly try it. I shall cast a lesser restoration on her then, and see if that helps.
Yeah, she is currently holding on to Aisha and sort of hugging him. And you step forward, you place your hand upon her and chant the words of the spell, and the black lines that look like mascaras fade back, and then the milky orbs that are her eyes slowly fade back till they're a normal bright blue colour. And then
there we go.
She says, I can see again. And Arn looks and goes, Mother, this small thing, he has healed you.
The small thing's name is Corin Toscobble. I'll say this as if I'm talking to a petulant child.
Arn looks straight at you, Corin, and he says, I swear, upon the honour of my tribe, that I will aid you in any way that I can. You have restored the sight to my mother.
I look at him and say, we have opened your mother's eyes, as you need to open your eyes to what is happening around you.
Nice one.
He says, well, it's true, I'm in your debt. Never thank you for restoring the sight of my mother. please, I welcome you back to Sky Tower. You may go anywhere you wish to go upon the place. Upon my honour, we will feast for you, but there's no way that you will get Ogalai and myself to speak at the meeting grounds where we used to play goat ball. You can try, but the Wormdoon Crag clan have also closed their doors. Plus, there is the matter of the injured child and the dead griffin. For the griffin bit the child as it was being provoked, and then the hunters of Wormdoon Crag came and slew the griffin.
But we have your word that if we can get him to speak with you, that you will speak in turn.
The small one, Corin Toscobble, has my word if he asks it. If this is the thing that I can do for him to repay him, I will do this thing.
Right. Well, yes. I'm presuming that's what the rest of the party wants me to ask him.
I'll hug Orn's leg and like smile at him and like look up at Aisha and smile at him as if to say, these big ones are really cool. Just trying to sort of soften his heart a little bit, to not be so harsh around the edges, and to try and acquiesce to, what we would like him to try and do. There's ways and means.
Yes.
Well, I like I say, I shall check with the party, and presuming if that's what everybody wants me to ask of him, I shall ask that of him.
He smiles down at you and enable line of sight, as you now have. You now have freedom to move around Sky Tower as you see. The griffin nests, you remember, Brissy, are to your left, although you have to go ahead and then turn left down a tunnel to get them. Ahead is the chieftain's cave, which is next to the griffin nest. And then straight down you'll go to the feasting cave, and then follow, that leads on to the communal sleeping cave.
Oh, that's the chief. How badly wounded was the kid?
It was barely a scratch. It was no more than 9 stitches. Any child would have survived it.
Not disfiguring or, lost an eye or a limb or something like that.
No, not at all. Completely out of proportion, the killing our griffin.
Did they kill it or just throw something at it?
No. They killed it. The hunters from Wormdoon Crag came by and killed it. But neither chieftain will admit to being in the wrong. I will meet, I've sworn, to the small thing, Corin Toscobble, but neither will admit fault.
You know what okay, I'm probably not better telling me know what he needs. Right, I think we should quickly pop over to Grim Wormdoon Crag as well then and sort them out and get the two parties to talk.
I think they need to get a lift put in here. Something for your brother to do, Lantesh?
Yeah, come in, fit them a lift. Maybe a cable car.
Oh yeah.
Zip line, you could probably get to Bryn Sander from here.
This has got possibilities. No, we could have a zip line installed that drops someone right outside the pub, and then a counter system that go back up. If only we had a large creature that could just constantly turn a wheel. Oh, I have just the plan.
Do you remember, Percy, the chieftain's mother holds almost as much sway in the clan as does the chieftain, and she slowly puts her hand upon On, and she says, On, both sides suffered terrible loss, and if only one side could be convinced that there would be more honour in reaching out than the other. But as she says this, she's kind of looking over at you, Aisha, because obviously he's chief, so she's addressing him. Mm-hmm. But it's as if she's trying to speak wise words to you. She says, there's no profit. Only Orville will win. You continue to fight like this.
Okay. Can I remember roughly how long it takes to get to the other camp?
Through the mountains? It's going to be a couple of days. You could go round the outside, but you're still going to have to travel through a mountain.
Or we could all go on griffins.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to lend us some griffins.
It's charm person work.
They must have their own version of Uber.
Well, why don't you stop speculating and start talking?
Good point. Do you want to ask them or should I?
I think you've done enough asking for the minute, Earl, so you don't get battered. Yeah, I'll ask the chief. Has he got enough griffins and riders who they could carry the rest of the party? And obviously I'll ride my own griffin.
He says, well,
time is of the essence.
Yes, Rahi could certainly teach you, but I think she's having some trouble in the nest. By all means, I can take you through to speak to her.
Please, lead on.
So they lead you south into the chief's chamber where there's a nice warm fire, and from there you head north till you're in the griffin nests. This 15-foot high cave contains 4 griffin nests, 3 clustered in the middle of the cave and 1 to the north. The northernmost nest contains a full-grown griffin that appears to be sound asleep. The wind stirs the sleeping griffin's feathers as it enters through a wide opening in the north wall, beyond which you can see mountain peaks and storm clouds. Sitting on the edge of the opening is a Goliath who is talking gently to a griffin youngling that is leaning against her. "Come no closer," says the Goliath. "This youngling is afraid to fly and his mother is trying to get some rest."
Do I recognise her?
You do. You actually grew up with her. I don't know, maybe you even had a bit of a thing for her at one point. This is Rahi Skydreamer, and she has grown up to become the chief griffin tamer of the Sky Tower clan.
I see your looks have improved, right? As beautiful as you were years ago, even more beautiful today.
I think that should be some kind of check, to be honest.
I think I might look at Sandwin and fake gag.
What do you reckon that should be then? A persuasion? A performance?
A performance. I would make them perform.
Sounds like a right performance to me.
Oh dear, that's bad.
She looks up from the baby griffin. Oh, if there's an image, it's so cute. Like, so cute.
You do know that these toss couples just looking at it and thinking, I wonder what they taste like in a curry.
I was thinking.
Oh, I'll only need the small pot for that one.
She looks over at you and you sense the temperature drop even further. And she says, "You were always blunt with your wit, and I wish your mind was as quick as your tongue."
It's good to see you again, Rahi, after all these years.
Ah, this is the Rahi that spoke so much to us about in the past.
Indeed.
I'll bow in front of her and say, you are someone who's made quite an impression on my large friend here.
I'll introduce the party to it.
Arn and the old woman are with you as well. I have decided that I should be the one that breaks the feud, which would cause me great honour. And Rahi looks over, like strokes the baby griffin, and she says, "And this involves me how?" And he says, Aisha and his friends would request to travel to Wormdoom Crag. And she says, "I can't do a thing until this fledgling flies."
Right, kick it off the mountain.
I was going to say, resist the temptation to kick it off the cliff.
Can I help?
To you, Brissy, these are like I said, they're not so much pets or mounts, they're actually part of the clan. So for you to want to kick it off the mountain, that's pretty strong.
No, that was just an in-joke thing.
What if you just throw a piece of meat just off the cliff so it'll have to go after it? I mean, it can fly, can't it?
It should be able to fly, it's ready. And who are you, strange fellow? As Salmon steps forward. "And how, pray tell," she says a little sarcastically, "would you presume to help this youngling fly?"
I'll point my finger at it and cast fly.
Wow, is that a touch spell?
I'll check.
Hasn't somebody got feather fall or something like that?
I've got feather fall and fly. I'm just checking if it's touch or not.
Holy shit, that
touch.
is it.
I'll use mage hand to put it on him so it doesn't bite me bloody fingers off.
That is like the probable best thing ever. So you cast fly on the young griffin, and it is fluttering its wings, but like it's shying back over the lip. But with the addition of the fly spell, that flutters enough to take it off. And at first it squawks, and then like reaches out with its claws towards Rahi, and at the squawk, the mother griffin raises her head. But that quickly turns to sheer joy as it realizes what it can do, and then it flies around the cave for a little, and with a great sweep of its wings, once it kind of gets the hang of it, it shoots out off the cliff, dancing about with the 2 fully grown griffins outside.
I'll give it a cheer.
I'll clap my
As it
hands
shoots out-
excitedly.
As it shoots out, I'll cast feather fall on it just in case.
Just in case, yeah. But now that it seems to have its confidence, it's shooting about and sort of trilling in pleasure. And Rahi turns to you and says, "Well, you must be a great tamer, for I've never seen anybody manage to do that with a youngling."
I am blood related to a dragon. They're somewhat decent in the flying game, I believe.
"Oh, well, if you're blood related to a dragon, then do not fancy your chances at Wormdoom, as they are a tribe of dragon slayers."
Well, they can have a go at me if they wish.
I'll pipe up. "They'll have to get through me to get to my friend."
I thought you were half elf.
I am a half elf, but about 700 years ago, my great grandmother got it on with a guy with golden skin who turned out not to be an elf, but actually a golden dragon called Aurum Vorax.
Me
Bound
mum had a
chicka
plant
wow
called
wow.
Aurum Vorax.
What?
Me mum had a plant called Aurum Vorax.
No, it was called Aspidistra.
That as well.
Close enough.
Was it the biggest one in the world?
It could well have been the biggest Aspidistra ever.
No, just come to mind, you know that game where they jumped across the squares?
Yeah. Are you an Aspidistra? Boo.
So,
Go
Ryan
on.
stands as you chat each other backwards and forwards like this, looking tad confused, and says, "Well, promise is a promise, I guess. Arn here has said that we can take you to Wormdoom. I won't be able to land on the top of the mountain because, you know, we're at war and all that.
As near as you can get, what would be great, most grateful.
I'll have to
Having
come
it
with
ready
you
to
because the griffins are likely to dump you on the off the mountain, or perhaps even eat some of the smaller ones for a snack."
Ouch!
We'll need a lift back as well, though.
Yes, of course. The chief has said so. So she runs you through the basics of the harness and how to hang on to a griffin, and she seems to have warmed up to Aisha quite a lot since this youngling, which is now flapping around her head and sort of cartwheeling around in the air. And she says, "One day, Aisha, perhaps I could teach you the secrets of tuning your own griffin."
Hey, it's all euphemism around there.
I look forward to that.
So with a little bit of preamble, she says, the best advice I can give you is don't fall off. It's like a 15,000 foot drop, so...
I'd rather not be on one by myself.
Get on behind me.
Yeah,
No way
you
to
and
fall
Andy
off, I
can
can
ride
explore.
behind others. Aisha has to ride by himself because they're only just big enough to... And it's only 8 miles. And a griffin can do 80 feet, so it can do it in less than an hour.
Handy.
Handy, indeed. With brief instruction, she straps you onto the harnesses of the griffins, which trill and nip at each other with their giant razor-sharp beaks. I mean, you could easily imagine it pecking Coronel Lantish's head clean off in one go.
Oh, yeah.
And you fly to Wormdoom Crag, taking less than an hour. You can't see the ground because all you can see below you is like a blanket of cloud, which is very, very pretty, however, quite terrifying.
I'll be fine until the mountain looms up with us, at which point I'll probably lose me dinner, but you know.
Try not to let the fact they kill dragons get you, Earl.
Oh, I'll be fine. I'm not going to overreact in any way, shape, or form.
Like I said, they'll have to get through me to get to you. They're not getting you.
Right, Aisha, I'll grab his legs, you grab his arms, just in case.
Are you trying to say that I might overreact? That's disgusting. True, but disgusting.
Right, so she lands at the bottom of the mountain and says, "I'll wait for a day." Set up. How long should it be?
Oh,
Would
we
it
shouldn't
take
be
a
that
couple
long.
of days to get up there, though?
It's not as high up. You could probably do it in about 6 hours.
Yeah, let's get our hiking on.
I'm
you're
going to
gonna
start singing my dwarven hiking song. Hi ho,
Ho,
hi
hi,
ho.
ho. I'll join in. I'll do this tune.
I likes this tune. Actually, Tracy, because you've left Ed with the sled, you automatically know exact range and direction to him.
Ooh.
So you could always find your way back to the sled. Because
Oh,
of
that's
that
Oh,
really
yeah.
handy.
That's handy.
fresh tracks in the snow make it relatively easy to find the Goliath settlement of Wormdoom Crag on the northern slope of a soaring mountain. Following these tracks leads you to a cave, outside of which the bones of a dragon lie half buried in the snow. Past these remains, torchlight flickers in a pair of tunnels that burrow into the mountain to leading west and south. East of the dragon's bone, rough-hewn steps climb to 20-foot-high open-air arena with stone bleachers carved into the eastern wall. Rising from the arena floor are more than a dozen pillars of rock, each 5 to 8 feet tall and about a foot in diameter. Bracy, you point out and go, "That's the goat ball field."
That's only a little dragon, God.
So as you walk forward, obviously the entrance to the cave and the goat ball field, you hear a and see the snow underneath the dragon's skull moving.
Ooh.
Do I know what it is? Would I recognise the sound?
Oh yeah. And out pops through one of its giant eye sockets the little face of a Twinger.
Oh, Twinger!
Does my Twinger say hi to it?
It points.
Oh, we like him.
Your Twinger went off with the other Twinger, Dave.
To
Did
make baby twingers.
To make baby chinguis. Yeah, this one has a little white face with a dark triangle painted over one eye.
I'll give him a dance.
Out pops another one. It has a white face with 2 concentric blue rings around one eye. That one is holding a pine cone, Dave, and runs towards you. The first one shouts down into the skull and runs over towards Tracy.
Ooh.
Or they're playing some like rugby or American football with a pine.
Out pops a third who has a curly black antenna growing out of his head. It looks at you and goes... And the fourth one wears a gown made of pine needles. They run over. Dave, one of them looks intently at you, up and down. Tracy, the other one sort of runs around your legs, examining you intently. The other 2 kind of stand off.
I'll bend down ever so slowly and go to pat it gently.
Right. Initially, it skips back out of the way like a scared cat. As you keep your hand down, it reaches up and touches the end of one of your fingers. The third one goes...
Goes what? That again?
I'll whistle back to it.
She's gorgeous.
As you whistle back to it, Andy, its little head perks up and it runs over and starts whistling at you. Kind of like one of the Marx Brothers.
Oh, no.
I'll get out one of the little twinger chairs I had made and hold it out to the twinger near me.
It jumps onto the chair and then jumps onto your arm, scurries up your arm and into your beard, and you feel tugging, and then it seems to be from the inside scrubbing your beard with a pine cone. The one that's whistling, Andy, starts to follow you about and has little whistling backwards and forwards contests.
I'll pull out a marble because I don't know whether this one likes to collect stuff because I know they all do something little weird, and show it to it and offer it to him.
Okay, it looks at it with some interest, but then it doesn't seem to take it or show any further interest. It seems to be watching you intently, however.
Oh, weird.
So you have the slope up and then a cave to the left, a cave to the right. Sorry, cave straight ahead, cave to the right, and then the steps leading up to what Aisha has told you is the goat ball court.
Would I know where the entrance to this other camp is?
You probably were there with a child, so it's either the entrance straight ahead or to the right, but you're not sure. And at that point, several of the Worm Doom warriors come out, dressed very similar to your clan. They bear trinkets, armbands, and things carved of bone. It is legendarily dragonborn, but perhaps maybe of something else. Hey, strangers, you've travelled far, he shouts, and then spots you. Goes, oh, the Sky Tower. You're not welcome here, Sky Tower.
We have come to talk to the chief.
We have nothing to say to the likes of you. And then, from the back, a warrior pushes forward. Aisha, it is me, Kapanuk. You rescued me from that filthy dwarven prison. This is this Goliath I told you about. He has much honour.
It's good to see you again, brother. How fares the day?
It's cold. It's bloody cold, he says. And he says, no, I swore upon my honour that should Aisha come visiting, he would be treated with the highest respect, be given a great feast. And
we have come to speak to the chief, brother. I have just returned
the guard
myself.
says, very well. This is the Aisha that you spoke of, the one that saved you and battled the giant dwarf. He says, yes, the giant dwarf and the metal dwarves. Please come to the main hall. And he leads you. Straight down the south is a windy tunnel, and then you end up in the Great Hall, in which are a bunch of Goliaths, some Goliath adolescents. They let out a gasp as they see your mountains. The cave has a domed roof 30 feet high and an open well in the middle of the floor. 2 youthful Goliaths use ropes and buckets to draw water from the well, while 6 adults wrangle a handful of exuberant Goliath toddlers. Rough-hewn stairs ascend to the south part of the cave, where the floor is 10 feet higher. Seated in this area next to a crackling fire is a female Goliath with grey hair, many scars, and a white cloak made of mountain goat hide. Leaning against the wall behind her is her great axe with a bone haft. She gnaws on a pipe as she tries to settle a dispute between 2 Goliath children. This is Ogolai, chieftain of Wormdoom. She says, who's brought this Sky Tower before me? And then Katmanuk steps forward and he says, on my honour, Ogolai, this is Aisha. He rescued me from the dwarf dungeons and I swore that he would be treated well and we would give him a feast. Very well, she says. Please, sit, eat with us, tell us your story.
All right, I will do that. I introduce all my companions to her.
Yep. I don't like asking twice.
They are very friendly to the rest of them. In fact, Brissy, you remember the Wormdoom clan is well known for being welcoming to travellers and people lost in the mountains.
I thank her for welcoming all my friends and, say it's, the rumours have been greatly proven.
She looks a bit sad and says, well, I'm quite sad that it's come to war between the two clans, but honour has been besmirched, and you're well welcome here under Capmanuk's honour, Isha, of the Sky Tower clan.
This is why we are here. I wish to try and stop this senseless war.
She says, this is a terrible thing, but the Griffins of Sky Tower badly mauled one of our children. The ball from a goat ball game tumbled near one of the Griffin, and when one of the children went to fetch the ball, a Griffin went berserk and gravely wounded her. The game was called off. Hungry for more of the child's flesh, the Griffin haunted Wormdoom for days, and our hunters were forced to kill it to protect the child.
I'll nudge you, Coronel, see maybe there might be something you could do to help rid the child of the scars.
Yeah, because that story doesn't line up with what we've been told.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if there's anything I can do to help.
Bracey, I need you to make me a check, please.
I'm more than happy to use what poor skills I have.
It's a pretty big failure, to be fair.
I wonder if some kind of agent of Oriel might have controlled the Griffin to attack.
Of course. I'll turn around to you and let out a really, really contrived grin.
We've come across demons or devils and a weird druid that was made animals smart and all that. And then there was that, what was it, cold light or something like that?
I believe we have a common enemy, and I believe your peoples may have been manipulated by this enemy. How long have you lived in close proximity to the Sky Tower clan?
For as many generations as the clans have survived.
And never once has a griffin attacked your people?
No, this is not something that has happened.
So you would say this was unusual?
I'm going to request a roll from the rest of you because Bracey duffed it up. It's going to go low. Wow, look at the roll.
Oh my God. Oh, Ben's done. Oh, or was it a group thing?
Yeah. It's just in case,
Right.
in case you noticed anything, but you didn't. You haven't. She says, right, go on. I'm interested.
Well, you've seen what's happening to the world outside in the 10 towns. I know you've cut yourselves off, but you must be aware of the temperature.
It's true. And food is scarce because of the creature hunting the deer herds.
What creature?
The only person that saw it is Sicky Cree, and he lies wounded in the private caves. But I think he said it was a great white dragon.
Oh, it didn't have a creature riding it, did it?
I do not know. Perhaps you could ask Sicky Cree himself.
I will. But my worry is that the followers of Oral are manipulating people. We already have discovered creatures manipulated by them before. Animals made to be intelligent and used to cause division and to stop the peoples of 10 towns in the area working together against whatever nefarious plan they've got. It seems unusual that this were to happen when it happened at about the same time as this started.
It is true. She shouts, Aruk, bring out Sicky. And he says, but he's still tired. And she was like, bring him out. Let him speak to these people. Very well. So he heads off to the tunnel of the east, and he emerges with an Arakokra who has an obviously broken wing, and several of his feathers have been turned white. And he limps over to sit.
Quick question, Rich, out of character.
Yeah.
Would I'm like a cleric, but do the tribes have like their own, classes, their own clerics and stuff like that? Or
They tend to have like shamans, but you know that they don't generally have powerful healers.
So I could heal this Arakokra.
In theory, he leans heavily against the wall. This is Siggy Lee. He is an honorary member of our tribe. He's got bright feathers, but they're burned white in like a stripe across him, and he's got an obviously broken wing.
I said the chief, if it pleases you, I could heal. Is it a he or a she?
If the chief is a she, I think the Aarakocra
Yeah.
is a he.
Does he look a bit like nervous and stuff like that?
He looks kind of weak, and he does look a little nervous.
I'll go to him just and tell him, I will try and heal his wounds, and then I will cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, what level do you cast Cure Wounds him?
I'll cast it at level 2.
Okay, roll to see how much you do. Oh, that is enough. They've set the wing crudely, but it is drooping, and you put your hands on him and cast the spell. And there's a pop as the wing goes back into place, and then Sicky Cree sort of flexes his shoulder and stretches his wing, and he says, "What a guy! They've healed me. I can fly again." In his parrot-like voice. Ah, hello, guy. Ah, wings working. Ah.
Would he like a cracker?
It gives you the devil's arrows.
Pining for the fields by any chance?
The dragon that attacked you, did it have a rider?
It caught me from above, and it hit me hard. I felt its cold breath on me, but I didn't see a rider.
I have to admit, and take this as no disrespect, but if our friend from the coast had breathed on him, he wouldn't have survived.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing. I think that's something else.
So there's 2 of them.
Something hit me from above, and
Wasn't there like
as I was
young white
circling
dragons?
overhead looking for the deer herds,
Wasn't there young white dragons in that berserker cage thing?
there was.
Yeah, that's true. They were only very young, but that could be them.
Or it could have been Oral flying above.
Possibly.
I am grateful for your help with this member of my tribe. He is very important for scouting. He tracks the deer herds for us. I'm in your debt. Is there anything that I can do to level this debt out?
Yeah, bury the hatchet with Sky Tower.
And join us in the fight against Oral. We need as many people as we can to unify together in the fight, oncoming fight.
And if the humans hear that the Goliaths are willing to fight, then they will be emboldened for such creatures as such warriors as your people are held in the highest regard by all.
Oral has
Yeah.
purposely divided we're all because she knows that united we're a powerful foe in the fight to come.
Think of the honour and the glory of the fight to come.
You speak well, and your words sway me, and I will agree to this, although you will never get the Sky Tower chief to admit he was in the wrong. There is just one problem. The traditional meeting place for the 2 clans there. That is in the territory of the creature that attacked Sicky Cree.
Then we shall go and sort the creature out.
If you can clear the creature from the traditional meeting grounds, then by all means, I'll be happy to attend.
We will kill this creature for both sides. It would be our honour.
Yep, true that. Can I see the child that was scarred by the griffin?
She looks at you with a strange look on her face, and then you realise the enormous scars that run down the entire length of her face, across her nose, and down onto her throat. She says she stands before you.
May I examine that?
If you wish.
I'll examine the scars. Do I think they could be healed? I'm not a priest or anything, but I've seen stuff healed by these. Is it healable?
It would be healable, but it's an old injury, and you're talking like regeneration rather than...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Would a restoration help?
Not for that kind of scarring, no, you'd need a
Oh, I
regeneration.
wish I was level 10.
At level 10, you can just make her back to how she was
She
before.
says, no, it's no worries. We do not hide our scars.
I'll turn around
They
and say
are
to her,
a record of our battles and victories. Anyone you can walk away from. Is that right, Asia?
Well,
Indeed.
I'll turn around and say to her, in my experience to come, it will be within my power to restore anyone to their former self. And if this is what you wish, I will return and restore that for you.
You know, I was thinking, Tess, could you fix that rider on the back of that ancient dragon?
Yep, I could do that, and I could do the dragon. I could make them younger. I can do all sorts.
Let's not make the giant psychotic dragon young.
Yes,
and
but if I
able
made
to
it
see.
younger and restored her mentality, she mightn't be nasty, and she might over, a favour. Or might think me more powerful than she and serve me.
We shall go to these grounds and find this creature.
Very well.
I think we should have a rest overnight first. get all
Might
our
be a good
spell
idea.
slots back.
Corin, get the cauldron out with the
Sticky
curry.
Cree says, I can lead you to where I was attacked.
Please, can we rest here this tonight and go in the morning?
You are welcome to rest here.
Curry!
I'm already unpacking the spice kit.
The young adolescent Goliaths, upon hearing this, are like, oh, if you're staying, we would like to challenge you to a game of goat ball.
Absolutely. Shield push was my favourite thing ever back in the day.
Excellent.
Does the ball stay inside the goat, or do you take it out of the goat first? I'll say.
The ball is traditionally made with the bladder of a goat, and then stuffed with rocks and other sharp and heavy implements.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just get on with the curry.
No, I'm going to go and play goat ball because why wouldn't
So
I?
you need to name your team of 4. You don't know the rules. Bracey knows the rules. Bracey has not decided to enlighten you on the rules.
I can run between legs, so I'm quite useful.
Bracey, do you wish to enlighten them? As you're looking at the enthusiastically talking about this.
I'm going to Sanwin. Pick me!
I just like, oh, God.
Right, so,
All right. Lantesh,
yeah.
Sanwin, and Ben.
Oh, this is going to be...
So,
long.
just a quick question. Can you use magic?
No.
No.
This is going to be crap.
So,
There's me, lost again. Just like when I was at school.
So
Just get the
those
curry on.
pillars that you stand on the pillar, and it's kind of like dodgeball with big, sharp, heavy rocks. You throw the bladder full of big, sharp, heavy rocks at each other and try and knock each other off the pillar.
Oh,
But where did the goat come into it?
Aye.
The ball's made out of a goat,
all right.
stuffed with
Oh.
rocks.
Lovely.
It is a Goliath game after all.
They don't get out much, those Goliaths, do they?
They do not.
Yeah, but if I'm a small target, it's going to be harder to hit a small target. It's got to be easier to hit the
We don't
large
get
one.
out much, but when we do, oh boy.
Oh boy. So, you are led back to the goat ball pitch.
This is going to be class.
Richie, my mage armor's on just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
Because I've got a feeling this is going to fucking hurt.
It'll be fine.
Right, so there's the enemy team
Oh,
standing there. You're talking like 16 to 17-year-olds. It's the equivalent of standing outside of a Tesco going, hey, governor, will you buy us a packet of fags and a bottle of cider? Is challenging people to a goat ball match, and they're talking a smack among themselves.
Even though I'm not playing, can I go and watch? Then if anybody gets injured, I can run on with a bucket of cold water and the sponge.
And an orange slice.
yeah.
Yeah, so Andy's on the sidelines here. Oh, look, they've even got Satan for you, Andy.
Hey, champion.
And they line up on the different posts. They take positions. Okay, give me a sec. Right, so can you give me either a athletics or an acrobatics check, please? Round 1. You step up upon
Oh, shit.
upon the poles, balancing precariously. The Goliath adolescents, they're like with their greaser jackets and whatever. You're standing on the poles, so we have a big rolls waiting for Dave. He needs to save us, Dave. So we have a total of 22. Well, I'm going to have to get my calculator out here.
47.
47.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Goliaths, the ball flies backwards and forwards between you. We have a 15. We have, get the attributes up, bad boy and girls. 15. We have crit 26.
Jesus.
We then,
41 already?
yeah. Oh, only a 9.
50.
50. And finally, 64.
64.
So the kids throw the balls a few times at you, and you just seem to be getting the hang of it. And Lantesh is dancing about. How do you want to decide who goes off? Do you want to role play it? Do you want to roll for it?
Just roll for it.
Roll for it. Tracy, what's the band doctor called?
Dr. Bonds.
Okay, so the order goes Lantesh, Aisha, Ben, and Samwin on a D4. 4, Samwin. Right, so the ball passes backwards and forwards. Lantesh, you duck under this bag stuffed with rocks, but Aisha grabs it, hurls it back to the one on the left. who then he spins around, passes it to the one on the far right, who, as he grabs it, spins 180 degrees. Salmon beans you right on the side of the head with this rock. You teeter and then fall backwards and crash to the floor.
Oof.
Oof. Out of the game, out of breath.
I'll run over with a bucket and a sponge.
He's got a big black egg coming up on his forehead. The Goliath adolescence.
I look down at Sanwin
Giggle.
and think, oh God, that's going to hurt in the morning.
So, let's have some rolls, please, people.
Walk it off, Salmon. Walk it off.
Oh, that was
God
almost a crit.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, crap.
I think we're going the journey, guys.
Yeah, so that's a 13. 30, yeah, I think, sadly. Yeah, so the dance backwards and forwards, the hopping about on the poles, from pole to pole, passing the ball. You're obviously not used to this and you're quite shaken. And then there's a Brahma comes in, hitting Aisha square in the chest. He takes it, steps back just for a second, and you can see him fighting for balance, and then he overbalances and crashes on the floor, leaving Lantesh
God.
and Ben.
Oh, gee God.
The ball is once more in play. The Goliaths are jeering at this point.
I'm frightened to roll.
22, it's good.
3 again? 3 times in a row?
27. I might get
gee.
low rolls. No, I don't. Wow.
I'll rush over and stuff the sponge up Aisha's kilt.
Yeah, it doesn't get around all three of them. So on a 1 to 3, it's Lantesh. The ball swings around the court and then it shoots at Ben, who goes down to catch it, but it catches him in the left ankle. He goes flying arse over tit and lands on his head
Oh, shit.
on the floor, leaving
So-
just Lantesh.
I'm looking at I'm looking around to see where's my teammates gone?
They're all lying on the floor, sort of going, as
I'm looking a bit worried now.
they all look at you. All 4 of them dance forward on the poles. Roll your athletics. They could roll really bad. It's a 21. Oh, come on. Roll low. Oh, no. So
No.
he doesn't even pass it. You throw the ball, he catches it, and then straight arms it straight back at you. It catches you on the arm. Lantesh spins round. Everybody on your side goes, ooh, as you spin round and round and round, and then fall off, landing, boom, face first, spread eagled on the floor.
Ow, I hurt.
It's hard work with this sponge.
The Goliath jumped down, and as the Goliath are wont to do, congratulate you without humour or sarcasm on a wonderful match. One says to the other, we weren't fairly matched because these ones are so much smaller than us. And they went, yes, but they tried so hard and they are new at it. So
It is an honourable game.
Match.
I'll stand up and applaud them and say that was well played.
Yeah, I'll get up, dust myself off, and go to shake that team captain, the one that seems to be coordinating the rest's hand.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I promise I won't turn anyone to dust.
there you go. This is
Ow.
goat ball.
Oh, crikey.
Now, you see, if this had some sort of... I'm looking around here going, if you had bleachers for people to sit in and then you...
Oh, no,
had-
there's bleachers. Corin's on the bleachers.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, so how full does this get? Because there's not many people in. I can... Turn on and look
Simon,
at this. I'll look at the...
Simon sitting there, he's got a massive egg on his head where he's been donked on the head with this ball stuffed with rocks.
Have we got room in the yard out the back of the pub?
Well, yes and no. I thought we could have a home and an away ground. So what we could do is, what we need is some sort of giant flying device or creature that can lift tourists backwards and forwards to here from on match.
That picture of the Goliath playing goat ball is where the traditional meeting ground is before it all got frozen over and attacked by a dragon.
Ooh.
Aha.
Could have like Olympic Games and all sorts.
So in great spirits, the adolescents come back
Well, I'd better...
into the main chamber.
I'd better spice up the curry and introduce them to that well-known halfling game of Vindaloo.
Oh, we're getting good at that. We only pass out every other game. I still think the fall challenge is cheating. This should be interesting.
Yep. I mean, I don't I don't think I've ever asked Aisha what Goliath food and cuisine is normally like. Do they eat spicy food?
Not
They probably
usually,
have
no.
trouble-
Pretty
yeah.
bland normally.
Oh, God, they're
this is
going to
gonna
be
be
running to the
great.
toilet tomorrow. This is class.
Are we all at the point now where we basically live on a diet of curry, so we don't care anymore?
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah. It's Andy
Yep.
just generally. Unless you're eating actual summoned food, then Andy's making various based curry up.
Yeah.
I will sit down and nosh up curry and, like, just ladle it in.
Yeah, so you're spooning it in.
I'll say, please, this is one of our group has
Delicacies.
a tradition of eating hot food to
Test the
out the cold.
manhood.
to test manhood and warriors and to ward off all
Evil spirit.
I'll stand in front of the leader of the goat ball team. The biggest youth, and I take a massive spoonful and just start eating it in front of him and just smile at him and offer him the ball.
So one of these youths is like, I will eat a half a bowl of this spicy food. Get some, starts wolfing it down. You can see tears forming in his eyes. Another one goes, well, I will eat an entire bowl. And he starts wolfing it down, and he actually rolls a tear down one side.
I'm going to use the privy now.
Before, and the third one who scored the winning goal, as it were, is he stands up to his Goliath boss and says, "I am the leader of the team, and I can eat 2 bowls of this thing you called curry."
God.
So
I ladle it out and grin at him.
To his credit, he does manage to get both bowls down, but then goes quite an exquisite shade of green and leaps up and runs headlong to the privy, clutching at his rumbling stomach.
I look at Corin and go, "Oh, you didn't have to make it this mile just for this lot."
Oh, bless them.
I'll turn around and go, this is the same as normal. Can you imagine if we made one of them hot ones?
He's like, I used to be an adventurer till I took Corin's fall on the tummy.
Yeah, so there's much merriment and drinking. You spend the night there, ready to set out in the morning. Actually, no, the Griffin lady, bit of a retcon, will fly, since it takes less than an hour, will fly back to Sky Tower and return the next day, because it's too cold even for the Griffins to stay out overnight now at this point.
By the way, you know what you've just done? Can I just say that Tracy just shouted to me, do you fancy ordering a curry?
Not every challenge is physical.
No, apparently it is not.
Actually, I quite fancy a curry now as well. So I've done myself.
Are you going to is Tracy and Andy going to challenge each other to the number of curries they can have?
Yep. That's the challenge.
Okay. So the night passes pleasantly, sharing drink, food, and stories. And then you get up early the next day. Several of the adolescent Goliaths looking slightly worse for wear, having stayed up quite a lot of the night on the privies. The lingering smell around the caves.
Oh, God.
You know how it lingers. Salmon, as you are munching away on the curry, the 4th Twinger, who's been standoff at this point, comes over and watches you fascinatedly as you masticate upon the large lump of nameless meat that Andy has provided before you.
I'll turn around, tear him a piece of naan bread off and hand him a piece of naan bread.
Oh my God, fucking bread. Right, he emulates watching you eat and replicates this on the naan bread, and it seems to fascinate him no end.
I'll give him little bits, but not the curry itself, because it will probably make him melt.
And if that one that was whistling to me is still around, I'll just keep up the whistling.
Yeah, those 4 seem to have followed you about for a few hours.
Pick the one up that was fascinated with me and just cuddle it in. I'm not sure what it was looking at. Is it me? Yeah.
Yeah, you give it a cuddle. It puts its little arms around your massive wide neck and goes...
Well, that's it, guys. We've got our Twinger farm sorted now.
But sadly, when you awake in the morning, they're not lying in bed with you or anything like that.
Oh, we'll be back. We'll see them again.
Oobla says, yeah, those Twingers living in and around the dragon, they'll come in now and again and seem to entertain themselves. There's something of a good luck charm, so they never bother us. So they'll be back around where the dragon skull is. So, plan?
We'll get the bird bloke to show us where he got attacked.
and then presumably we'll kill whatever it was.
This is
Okay.
bigger than the other white dragon.
Okay, so he says it is to the north. Sorry, you're at Wormdome, so he says it is to the west. That large peak. At the base of that is where the meeting place for the two clans is. And there's like a cleared area that has a goat ball pitch. And it's where they used to meet before it all went to shit, which is down here, where this arrow is. He says the thing came from up the mountain, and it'll take us a while to get there. Well, you particularly, as you can't fly. It's going to be 3-mile hike through the mountain, so it's going to take you approximately 6 hours to hike there to where he was attacked.
What time of day is it now?
You've just woken up so that you've got a nice fresh start when it's as light as it can possibly.
Right, okay, because I was going to say we need to get cracking then.
Okay.
I don't fancy just camping right on the spot where the guy got attacked if it gets too dark to do anything, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you hike through the mountains, being followed by an arrow corker. Secretly brings you to the base, and you arrive at the base of the mountain where there's a snowed over goat ball pitch where the clans have a meeting place.
Okay.
He says the creature its lair must be up that mountain where it attacked me when I was flying past.
Fear not, we will dispose of it.
So you've got 2 hours of the adventure day, and you begin to hike up. Sadly, the weather comes in quite badly, and it starts to snow rather heavily. It cuts visibility down to around 50 feet, and the temperature drops quite badly. You're about an hour into the hike. There seems to be a crude path that's either been cleared or worn away by the snow, when a sudden harsh gust of wind is followed by an eerie silence. However, the silence is short-lived when a low rumbling begins further up the slope. A terrifying noise you've only heard once before. There's a great crash of snow. So can I have...
Dive for cover.
Initially. You dive for cover as best you can behind the rocks.
Yep.
It's a perception check initially for everybody. Looking desperately around, you look for cover. Aisha and...
Nice and onions.
Aisha spots cover and starts herding everyone. He runs behind a large section of rock. Sadly, the snow catches up and you all run towards the cover that Aisha spotted. Oh, nice.
Bye.
Some nice ones.
See you, lads.
Right, Dave, Lantesh, you are battered by snow but push forward. Aisha, you get to the rocks and then you are caught by the edge of the avalanche. So pushing through the snow, you all desperately try to make it. Nobody has managed to get safe. Corin got a success. So you are partially caught.
Mm-hmm.
You swept away. You take 2d10 bludgeoning damage. You take 9 points of bludgeoning damage, and you end up partially buried in snow, but you've got your head and one of your arms free.
I shall start digging myself out.
Lantesh,
I got a success and a success.
So 2 successes. You managed to actually make it to the rocks where Aisha said, but you suffered 6 points of bludgeoning damage on the way there. Sanwen, you got a fail, and a fail. Sanwen is swept away in the avalanche.
Here we go again.
You are fully buried and has disappeared under the snow. You only take 6 damage, but you are buried. So that's good. Bairn, you managed to also make it to the rocks with Lantesh, taking some bludgeoning, only 1 point of bludgeoning damage. It barely scratched your beard there. And finally, Aisha, you are partially buried as well as Andy, taking 2d10 damage. 10 points of damage from this. Okay, Andy, dig yourself out.
How far down are they from where me and Ben are?
Sanwen, you can't see. You can see Corin and Aisha about 30 feet away from you, partially buried in the snow.
I'm going to cast Mage Hand, followed by Spider Climb, and put it on Aisha, because he's the biggest of the lot, so it should help him maneuver about to look for Sanwen and to be able to get back up, I figure.
Okay.
It's all right. I know exactly where he is.
I'm in the snow.
Right. It takes a minute, but you and Corin can both dig yourselves free. Right. However, Earl, you are completely covered by snow. You're blinded and restrained and have to... and I require a Constitution saving throw.
I look around and shout, did anybody say where Sanwen went?
Down the mountain.
Again?
We'll have to call him boy this time.
An 18, right. So you managed to not suffocate the first minute.
I start looking for.
I cast locate object.
Nice. You cast locate object. Salmon's 40 feet further down the mountain, underneath the snow.
Go get him.
I'll go with him.
Can I start melting my way out now?
You can try. You're disorientated, you're cold, and you are covered in snow. So they start to dig you out as Brissy knows exactly where he is. So I need one more Constitution saving throw from you, Salmon. It's a 20. Oh, yeah, not a problem. Bit chilly under here. You're gasping for breath, and you're starting to get dizzy from lack of oxygen, but then there's a brief flash of light as the snow's cleared from above you, and a great big arm comes down, grabs you by the scruff of the neck, pulls you out from the snow. Coughing and
I really
spluttering.
don't like these things at all.
Coughing
You're
and
making a habit of this, my friend.
Yes.
Right, so you reconvene in this sheltered spot where Lantesh and Ben wait for you.
Has the rumbling of the avalanche gone away?
Yeah, it's subsided and gone
Right.
quiet.
I tell everybody to be quiet, and I listen to if I find anything flying around.
You can have a perception roll based on the hearings.
Can I listen as well with that sort of ranger spidey sense thing that we have?
Yeah, my spidey sense is tingling.
I'll give it a go.
You
And
as well,
tingling
Dave? So you strain, but all you hear are the flurries of wind. And then, Ben, you swear that you hear in the distance like the bark of a dog.
I heard like a dog in the
It's the
distance.
ghost of boy.
Or no.
Spread out.
Yeah, draw weapons, spread out.
Sounds good.
So yomping up the snowy path, Earl's now looks like Kurt Russell in the Thing, covered in snow. A blast of wind assaults you and through the mountain pass. As the flurries clear, three small figures catch your attention up ahead. These look like Icewind kobolds, so they're white-skinned, so they're resistant to the cold. They do have crude winter clothing in, which they've got pulled around them and are hiking up the mountain on the snowy path.
They'll be the ice dragon's servants. We need to follow them.
Yeah, can we sneak along and follow them?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Right, follow the distance.
Everybody doing the sneaky, are we? I'm going to give you advantage because, like I said, it's snowing quite badly, but it is a hidden stealth roll. Right. Who speaks Draconic? It's Ulster, isn't it? They don't seem to notice you as you head further up the snowy pass, and you follow them for around an hour. Earl, you hear them talking to each other and say, we get jobs. Yes. The master, it's up this mountain, and we'll get jobs. We'll get treasure, loot, status. So an hour later, it's dark. You're running out of adventuring day now. You've got maybe an hour left. A large cave opens before you with massive footprints leading in and out. Strange markings line the arch of the entrance. To the right of the threshold, massive stairs lead further up to the summit of the peak.
These strange markings, they're not draconic writing, are they?
They are not.
Do I have any idea what sort of footprints those are?
They are humanoid and definitely bigger than the average one. Brissy, you realise that the runes above the cave are written in giant, and they simply state, "Trespassers will be crushed."
I let everybody know.
The kobolds have stopped outside the cave, and they seem to be arguing, Earl, whether they should go in the cave, as they don't understand that funny writing, or continue up, as maybe the master would be upstairs.
I'll wait. As long as we're out of voice, I'll use message to tell the rest of the group what's going on and see which way we want to go. I think this might be something's lair below the dragons.
Let's see what happens with these kobolds if somebody attacks them as they go past or if they go in.
Yeah, good point.
Those footprints were made by a giant.
Right.
And no dragon.
No dragon.
Because
Right.
you can
well, I
only
presume.
detect the following types: aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Right.
So at least there's no undead, fae, or fiends, or dragons.
Just means it could be
Something,
flying
I
around.
suppose.
Well, it'd be rude of us not to pop our heads in this cave to see what's going down in Groovetown.
Yeah, I was rather thinking that. At least it gets us out the wind.
Yeah, true.
But trespassers will be crushed. God, you
Yeah.
bloody read.
Yeah, but are we really trespassing?
But hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. If there is definitely a giant within 6 miles, but there are no dragons, either the dragon is out and there is one, or there is no dragon, in which case, what attacked the spuggy?
This is a
Might
good
be
point.
something else that can fly. She just thought it was a dragon.
Well, let's check out in here first, and that might.
Or
answer
it might actually have been our friend from the coast.
I don't think it was her. I think if it was her, she would have absolutely mullered the living shit out of him.
And I doubt she's going to attack one person just for a snack.
No, that wouldn't even. I don't think that would even bother her.
The other alternative is he's fibbing.
I don't think he would fib. I mean, he's definitely been hit by something that turned his skin white, his feathers white.
It's true.
No, I meant fibbing about it being a dragon.
Oh, that's possible. I figure we go in here and have a look.
Yeah, well, I don't really say there's much else we can do since we're here, and there is definitely a giant within 6 miles.
Yeah, and it's not likely it's a giant hang glider with a wand of frost.
But that
No,
would
that
be
I actually
amazing.
want to say now.
Yeah, I need to see this in my. I need this in my life.
Well, the kobolds argue for a few minutes, and then Earl the Seer, they should try at the top first and head off up the stairs. The giant stone steps cut into the rock. Head up the mountain.
Should we follow them up and then go back down if they don't find anything?
Well, yeah, we might as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll follow them.
There might not be a dragon here at the moment, but if there's a dragon lair at the top of the mountain, then there obviously is one, and it's out at work or something.
You head up the mountain for a little way, and it flattens out onto several plateaus on the top.
Okay.
The kobolds are just ahead of you, hiking through the snow, calling out, "Master, we come serve you." What do you do? Like I said, remember, it's snowing, you've got about 50 foot of vision.
Creep along and follow them,
Yeah.
I presume.
They haven't
Thank you.
spotted you because you guys are like creeping along behind the thing, and you've done rather well on your stealth checks. They're heading up north to go around
Right.
the top, shouting, "Master,
Well,
Master!"
I presume we just keep following them.
As you come around the corner, creeping on your tippy toes, there's a large whoosh noise. Out of the blowing snow above swoops a great creature with great dragon-like wings. However, it's not something that you may have seen before. It has the body of a polar bear, the wings of a dragon, 3 heads, a white dragon head,
What?
a walrus head, and a polar bear head. Swoops down, lands on the first kobold, snaps its neck instantly, and the polar bear head begins to devour it. The kobolds scream and begin to run.
All right.
I'm going to ask you all to roll for initiative.
God damn it.
Okay, first up we have the kobold scaled sorcerer. He lies limply beneath this thing as it worries him and dies horribly. Problem solved. 1 dead sorcerer. Next up we have Alan Tesh.
Right, I'm going to move to the west
Mm-hmm.
so that I've got a good line to about there, right?
Yeah.
So is it sort of on the ground next to these
It's
things?
on the ground, and it's next to
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
those 2 kobolds.
Yep, lightning bolt.
Okay, sweet. Roll their saves. Right, so the lightning bolt goes through the 2 kobolds, strikes the creature, which saved. And I need you to roll your damage first. The Arctic Chimera takes no damage, and the lightning bolt is reflected back upon yourself. So can you please target yourself, roll your save, and then roll the damage? You've seen this before when you were fighting a crag cat. It's reflected the lightning bolt back upon Lantesh. Right, yeah. So you've taken 26 damage.
6.
Sicky Cree is a commoner, basically. He can attack if you want, but he'll probably get torn to bits.
No, keep your head down, son.
Yeah, he flies away. Next up is the Arctic Chimera, who has just been lightning bolted. It's going to... The dragon head will ice breath the 2 kobolds. It moves forward into melee range. Those 2, trying to get at Lantesh because she has lightning bolted. She uses the dragon head, so it will claw and use the tusk. Yeah, that is a hit from the tusks. Right, it obliterates that kobold, impaling it upon the tusks of the walrus. And then we get the claws on the other one. It misses. Damn it. Right, that is the end of its turn, Salmon.
Right. 4th level fireball.
Okay.
Yeah, just next to it, so it's in the area of effect as opposed to right in its face. I'll target them both, won't I?
You target them both, yeah. And you roll the save first. Right, well, the kobold explodes.
Oh.
And is consumed in fiery death. And is that your turn then?
That is my turn, darling.
Corin, it is your turn.
Right. Well, in that case, let's just try and stick to the tried and trusted method. We'll use our bonus action to put the old tosser's mark on it and then fill it full of arrows. Not with a roll like that, we won't.
No, we won't.
Second arrow. Better.
Yeah. The arrow sinks deep and it screams in pain.
That'll do, Maiden.
Ben, you are up.
Right. I shall shoot a couple of arrows at it then.
Okay. Feel free. Shoot arrows. Twing, 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 twing.
Then I shall move.
Oh, shit, I should have moved. Never mind.
Yeah, so you're moving back. Yeah. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Isha.
Right, well, all I can see on the map is burn.
That's right.
This is black. So I guess I'll have to move forward a bit.
You're hearing an awful, calamitous noise coming from up ahead.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Kill it.
I don't want this spell to reflect on us, though.
Might be only lightning that reflects.
Well,
Because the fireball didn't.
I will cast Toll the Dead on it. See what happens.
Okay. Roll it, save. It fails. You can do damage to it. D12. Oh, it says, roar. Actually, the polar bear head shouts out, "You bastards! I'll kill you. I'll get my master and we'll kill you." Lantesh, smarting somewhat from the lightning bolt.
Right, I'm going to cast Magic Missile at level 4. Bastard, you don't dare save against this fucker.
Get him told.
Oh, no save.
Untick myself.
Yes, that's more like
Right.
it. It's peppered with force. Is there anything else you want to do?
Yeah. Stick my finger up and say, "Eat that, motherfucker."
Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Sickly
Say those
runs the
things before
fuck
Jim
away.
comes back.
Right, its breath hasn't recharged. It leaps to the air, diving vertically down the side of the mountain with its fly speed, and it dashes, doing 120 feet, so it disappears down the mountain in the direction of the cave.
Awesome. Move it on the map, Rich.
Move it on the map.
Because I'm going right behind it. I will run, leap off the cliff, burn it in midair, then use my reaction to cast Featherfall and float onto the ground and land on its body with my head upon its head, my foot upon each of its heads. And if this fails, I'll go crunch and die. But it'll be funny.
It would be incredibly funny if you do that.
Right, can I run to where it disappeared over and can I see it?
You just catch sight of it disappearing into the cave entrance that you saw before.
Can I get a spell on it?
No.
Dagnabbit. Right, let's go down.
It is very fast.
Let's go.
Yep, let's go after it.
Well, hot-footed back down the stairs to the cave.
So you run down the stairs. It does, however, take you a little while.
Yeah, no.
And you arrive.
Isha's got spider climb on still.
Okie doke. So you can run down the side by yourself if you want, just vertically.
Yeah, I'll just make sure that it doesn't come out the cave and piss off.
Okay. You arrive at the outside of the cave.
What I'll do is I will start. Will I be able to, because I've got spider climb, stand on the wall of the cliff above the entrance?
Yeah, don't say why not.
I'll do that and I'll just wait.
So if it
Spider
sticks its head
climbs
out, you'll
down, isn't it?
stamp on the back of its neck.
Yep.
You arrive at the cave. It's all quiet inside.
Does the snow outside the cave look disturbed, like where this thing's landed and scuttled in? Right.
Definitely. 100%. And you've all arrived. You wait for the others to arrive.
Yep.
Well, Pigs?
Right, I'm going to go on in.
How long does spider climb last?
8 hours.
Oh, yeah, it's like ridiculous.
All right. I'll walk in on the ceiling.
It's brilliant.
So you run in on the ceiling, and everybody else. It's a large cave, and it has big, giant footprints leading into it.
I shall equip my shield and battle axe.
Okay? And who's going first then?
I'll go first. I don't mind.
I mean, you
I'll
might.
follow after him.
So the corridor leads ahead and then turns sharply to the north.
I'll be sneaking.
You will be
Sneaking?
sneaking. Corrin sneaks off.
Bit of a sneaker, our current. And I have me born arrow up the ready. Because I've got a feeling I know this is going to go.
Followed by Salmon, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so you come to the turn, Andy?
Right. Well, I'll do this bit in stages, so I've got some idea of what I can say.
As you come round the corner, you see before you a frost giant
Right.
holding a large boulder. And apparently he's been waiting. As he sees you, he hurls the boulder towards your head.
A duck, or dodge, or summit.
Oops.
That's going to hurt.
It hits as the boulder smashes into you.
Oh, you bastard.
He laughs, roars, and reaches for another boulder. It's Rolsum and this chaps. Select all PCs. Initiative.
Well, in that case, I shall have to return fire. Not with an initiative like that, I won't.
Oh shit! It's Ben is up first.
I shall move.
Yeah,
I can't see him.
that's right.
Can I dash?
You can. Yeah, run round the corner. Say, Corin has been struck by a large boulder, and then as you
And it
come round the
wasn't
corner,
pleasant.
you see a large giant standing with a battle axe, a giant-sized battle axe, and
I'll move there. And I will rage.
actually, Andy, you've still got Hunter's Mark on him, so you know the Shimmerer is in that cave. I think
Yeah.
you know where it is. It's in the cave, licking its wound.
It'll be licking more than that by the time I'm finished with it.
Can you dash and rage? Or
Yes, because dash is your action. You still have your bonus action.
right, I'll rage and
Oh, a dwarf, he says. So the you can definitely hear the Shimmerer moving about inside. Oh, and it's the giant next. He picks up a rock and he sees him and goes, "A dwarf, I'm going to eat well tonight." And he throws the rock at you, Dave, which hits,
Ouch.
done 29 damage, reaching for another rock. He says, "Come on, dwarf." Corin.
Right. Now then, I'm going to try something new, and I'm not quite sure how to do it. It's a bonus action spell. It's Hail of Thorns.
It will drop your Hunter's Mark, though, because it's concentration.
Oh, that's all right. I shall manage with that for the minute. Yeah, what it says is the next time you hit a creature with a ranged weapon attack before the spell ends, this spell creates a rain of thorns that sprout from your ranged weapon or ammunition. In addition to the normal effects of the target of the attack and each creature within 5 feet of it must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 1d10 piercing damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one.
Cool. Shoot away.
Now I've got to shoot arrows at him, and then we'll worry about the
shoot
spell.
arrows at him.
Right.
Go on, Andy.
You hit, so do your normal damage. He is wounded,
Right.
and then make the save. Yeah, failed, so he'd do the damage. Ah, he says as he's pierced by thorns. Ah, you bugger.
Right. Could I take my second shot?
You can. That also hits. Ah, you bugger, he says.
That's my done.
Lantesh, you run to there.
That's
Yep.
quite useful, that spell. I like that one.
Can I
Exactly.
say anything?
Actually, do
You
shit.
cannot. You can hear all hell breaking loose round the corner from you. So you dash in.
Yeah, I'll do dash another 25 feet.
You move around the corner. Can you see anything?
Just Corin.
Uh-oh. San, when?
Right. But I can't see the other bugger.
No, I can't say the Chimera either.
Well, I'll clear that area out. Duck and roll, boys and girls. Fireball time.
So throw your fireball on there.
Incoming.
All right, hold on a second. I'll do your targeting for you because the thing. There you go. You hit both of them.
Hey.
Fireball time. 2 fields. Nice. Boom, baby.
Light them up, Sunwin.
Light them up, Samwin.
That'll
Boom.
do.
The Shimmerer explodes in a puff of logic and dies.
Good.
My pet, you bastards.
My curry's here. Hurry up, you fucker, and come out and die.
Isha, what you doing? Running, presumably.
Yep, move at the cave.
Is your curry right? Because we can actually just stop
No,
and it'll remember it.
No, we'll just finish his combat.
Right, so you run over Lantesh.
I'm on the ceiling.
You are.
Can you still cast a bonus action on a dash?
You can. The dash is your action.
Right. I will cast a heal on Lantesh because I can't see anybody else.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Bloke is up here. Makes a change you on the ceiling.
Yeah, that means his kilt's hanging down over his head.
Ooh. Ooh.
So before every minute of sanity roll, what does Aisha wear under his kilt?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh
Nothing?
my God, Ben, it is your turn.
I shall charge.
Yay, go on, you charge, son.
I think I'll put some veg in the next curry.
No, don't, because it'll run down on top of me.
Couple of potatoes and a
You
carrot.
charge up to him covered in spikes.
See,
He raises his great axe.
I want to do distracting attack.
Okay.
Strike.
So you have to hit him first, so roll a hit. Right, so that hits. So now you've got 4 dice. You've got the little superior dice, so take one of those. Right, roll your damage. So click the effect. There you go. That's your turn, Don. Right, heavily injured and angry. The giant raises his massive axe, Dave, swinging twice at you. I'll bring you down, you stunty bastard. That's a hit.
Oh.
That's gonna hurt.
And again, bang, as he swings, you little git. Ben takes it like a champ. As the axe
Hooray.
comes down, like blood runs down into his beard. Corin, you're up next.
Right. Since the Chimera's dead, I'd like to drop this spiky spell.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the tried and trusted. I shall put Tosser's mark on him.
Good on, go on.
So that's
Get him this time.
3 spell slots you've expended.
Yep, tis indeed. And then we'll try and fill him full of arrows.
Many
Oh,
arrows indeed.
There we go. Tis I done.
He's still standing, he's bleeding badly.
Oh, still low.
Lantesh.
Right, I'm going to move up to there. Can I get there?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. Right, I'm going to cast Scorching Ray at level 3.
Finger guns required though. Pew, 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 pew. It's a hit. Miss. Another miss. And another hit. Oh, it's a big hit.
Nice.
Big hit.
Nice one.
That's a good one.
Right, and that's my go.
Okay. San win.
I'll say it to him. Sorry about this.
Oh no, not again. He's going out.
I will cast a heightened 3rd level Scorching Ray. So I
Thought
just
he's going to do another fucking fireball on him.
Sorry,
I thought
Dave.
he was as well. I was
They
like,
should
oh
totally
god.
do fireballs.
And then I was thinking, God, Davey's going to get his beard burnt.
I've just got to look up for my thingy heightened spell.
Earl's dangerous with fireball.
Right.
I don't know why
He
you
is.
allowed it.
Right, so rays shoot out of Sanwin, blasting holes to the giant, who gasps and falls to his knees. And
I want to put one either side of Ben's head and the last 2 through his legs.
Just to frighten the
yeah,
shit out
Ben,
of Ben.
covered in blood, barely standing, looks at this as these scorching rays shoot through him. The giant falls dead, and as you
Quick.
step
He's hot.
into the giant chamber, you see a toasted chimera, a dead giant. The chamber heads off to the northeast before it's blocked by crystals, and to the northwest, and to the northeast the tunnel is blocked by huge boulders. Call it there for tonight, and then we can sort it out next week.